starting off, this is Scott from South Florida Insider, and who am I speaking with?
Ricky Phillips from Styx.
So, starting off, I mean, I've been to the Fountain of Youth in St. Augustine. Nothing happened. How have you guys stayed so youthful now reaching the 40th anniversary of your debut album?
Well, that's something I think we get asked a lot. I think the advantage we have is we're doing something we love to do. I think that alone keeps you young. I think the rock and roll in general, it will keep you young if you're lucky enough to be able in a position that we are, and we don't take it for granted. I think to be the center of attention at the party every night it's a hell of a way to make a living.
How fun was it recording those Two Damn Yankees tracks on your double disc Regeneration? I mean, you guys got such an extensive catalog of your own. It's always fun kind of messing around with cover songs.
Yeah, I think those are songs that Tommy wrote when he was in Damn Yankees, and it was something we were doing for fun at the time. We haven't been playing them so much lately, but at the time we were playing them, we always try to give the audience something fresh and new. We have people who hold signs up that say this is our 250th show, for example. And, because we have such diehard, really dedicated fans, we try to always throw something in there that maybe they wouldn't expect or they haven't heard. And at that time, that was one of the things we were doing. It was a lot of fun. And at the same time, we had done Regeneration Volume 1, which was something that kind of came out because of the game's Guitar Hero and Rock Band, and a lot of the things where people are playing along with songs of their favorite artists. They needed to get the original tracks of those songs, and some of those masters are not even available. They don't play or whatever. So we had kind of gone through and started recreating some of these tracks, and that led to Regeneration 1 and 2. So we wanted to put some new information on there, and Tommy had written a song called Difference in the World, which went on Volume 1, and then in Volume 2 we thought, well, what are we going to do that's something fun for people to listen to. So we said, hey, how about, put those tracks on there because we can play them, and people have been loving it and kind of waiting to hear them. So that's how that all came about.
Yeah, you mentioned the thing with Guitar Hero. Just curious, have you ever tried to play it to one of your own tracks yourself?
I haven't. I've tried to play. I actually was in the Activision office and with a whole panel of some of the guys that developed those games, and they had me play Mississippi Queen. I can't remember. I didn't do too badly. It was okay, but I see young kids playing that game, and they're way better than I am.
Yeah, it'd have to be a little frustrating if your own track, you couldn't handle it on Guitar Hero, I'm guessing.
I don't even want to know. I don't want to know.
Now, the release of the 2-CD DVD, The Grand Illusion, Pieces of 8 Live, that's kind of something new for you guys, considering you recorded both albums live in its entirety at the Orpheum Theater in Memphis. How'd really that whole thing come together?
Actually, that was our manager's idea. He'd come up with this idea. He thought it would be cool because we're always trying to do something different, something to kind of up the bar and make it fun for us as well. And he thought, those two albums were such a sweet spot in the band's history. He brought it up that, what do you think of doing, first of all, the Grand Illusion album, taking an intermission, coming back and doing Pieces of 8, and it hit our ears perfectly. It just sounded like such a win-win idea. So we put together a lot of content for a nice LED wall on the wall. You can watch the band or you can watch the content going on behind us. But we approached it sort of like going back to the vinyl experience and trying to relive the way albums were put together. There was an A side and a B side. there was sort of a whole ritual involved that's kind of gone away. And some people didn't live during that. A lot of our younger fans weren't even around for that experience. So we kind of started off with this LED wall where you see a kid walk out and sift through his albums, and he's say a 15-year-old kid in the 70s, and he pulls out Grand Illusion and puts it down on the turntable. He drops the needle down on the vinyl, and boom, the lights go on, and we start playing. And that sort of kicks off the show, and it's really fun when some plan like that comes together and it works. We're going to do about 10 shows just to test it, and when people heard we were doing it, a lot of promoters around the country wanted to buy in, and so we ended up doing 22 shows in theaters, mostly on the East Coast, and it just worked a treat. I mean, I can't wait till we can do it again. We've been too busy, actually, to be able to do it again, and I'm not sure when we're going to be able to go out and do it. So James Young, JY, the original guitar player from very beginning days of Styx, said, we need to get this thing documented. So we had a company come in that we've worked with before. A guy named Terry Fryer brought his whole 11-camera film crew in, and we shot it, and it ended up being the DVD that's out now.
Was it hard? I mean, I know that you said management kind of leaned toward it, but was it hard justifying the one location when I'm sure you had a number of venues probably to choose from?
Yeah, that's the tough thing. If you're going to do that, I recommend any band that's thinking about doing it, shoot multiple locations. The problem is it costs a lot, especially when you do it the way we wanted to do it, with such, so many cameras and really do it right. But we had to pretty much try to nail it in one night, and you hope that you got the best performance to do it with. But they did come out great, but we're our own worst critics, and I think that if for example, I've seen from Tom Petty to U2 to a lot of people who do shoot and film themselves, they film themselves on several nights, and then they take the best performances and throw it into a DVD like this. This was one show, and nothing was we didn't go in and reshoot anything. It was exactly what you see. To give you that night, there was a technical problem. We went back out and we did the very last song, which was Renegade, but we ended up using the original take. So everything that's on the DVD is actually the original show. But it's a daunting task. But we do so many shows, and we play. We're on the road almost 200, sometimes even more than that, days a year, and we play so many shows every year that we're kind of a pretty well-oiled machine. The Styx is always up and running. When we go out with other bands, they always comment on how together our show is while they're kind of coming out from having not been out for maybe a year or two and trying to get it together. So it's for us, it's what we do. We don't want to stop doing it. We don't. It's not time to go grow roses or anything. This is why we're on the planet.
Yeah. Could South Florida be the home for the 50th anniversary? I know fans would welcome it after such an electrifying show you guys did at Sunfest in West Palm Beach.
Oh, well, that's nice of you to say, man. Thanks. Hell yeah. I mean, absolutely. It's Florida's has been really good to the band. Actually, the South in general. We every year come back because the people there are really warm and gracious and really good to the band. And I could definitely see that.
Yeah, and while over the years you guys have found numerous outlets to hype your album, I swear everywhere you look these days, Styx is out in front, especially on TV. So where are you guys finding any rest? I mean, you said you're doing 200 shows and you're doing all this promotion for albums. So
yeah, actually, I should clarify one thing. We're on the road about 200 days a year. We don't do 200 shows. There's a lot. There's travel days. You know what I mean? There's days in between and all that. But our suitcases never really get emptied out when we go home. We know that we're going to turn around. This year we actually had 3 weeks off. I'm on the road right now. We played in Baton Rouge last night, and I'm in San Antonio right now this morning. But it's one of those things that we've thought about it. We've thought about we don't need to be on the road this much, but we enjoy it. We love our crew. It's a big family. We have 21 people, including the truck drivers and bus drivers, that we all travel in our little, submarine down the highway, and there are multiple submarines down the highway, and we look forward to it. When we get some time off, yeah, that's nice. Nice to get back. Nice to see family. Nice to do the things that you like to do at home. But then after about a week or so, we're itching to get back out.
How do you guys keep things so fresh with the ever-changing landscape of today's music?
I think there's a really strong focus on us trying to up the bar from day to day. It isn't even like this year, let's do this. We'll come off the stage and we'll be talking about the show and what we could do better tomorrow night. It's like we have an open dialogue. There's nothing bad or wrong to say or to suggest, and there's 5 guys there batting it around a 6-foot chuck, and I should mention Chuck Panazzo, the original bass player, is still very much involved with the band and is out doing probably over 90% of the shows these days. Lives in Florida, by the way, and so we've got a lot of fresh angles, a lot of fresh viewpoints, and guys that are seasoned veterans that really know pretty much. Somebody's got to have an idea whether something's going to work or not before it's even implemented. But simple things like let's bring the tempo up to whatever blue collar band. Let's do let's try and pocket that groove in the middle of Fooling Yourself a little more. Whatever it is, whatever somebody's idea is listened to, and we really are thinking about the show and what we can do. Not just the big scheme like say doing something like Grand Illusion and Pieces of Eight, but something as minute as tempos and maybe a vocal harmony or something. But we're always very conscious of the show, what's working, what's not working, trying something new, doing something different, trying to keep it fresh, not just for the audience, but for us as well.
And just kind of wrapping it up, I mean, you guys have had a wide spectrum of your music appearing places. I mean, you've had your Super Bowl gigs, even Cartman from South Park covering one of your songs. So, I mean, what's really down the road next for you guys? Projects, tour plans, any of that stuff?
Well, it's funny you should say that because we're having a meeting actually tomorrow with our manager about those very things. So I don't have any inside scoop on that, but we're going to be touring quite a bit this year. We're going out in a month or so with Ted Nugent and with REO. We haven't toured in a few years with REO. We've done a couple isolated shows with those guys, but we haven't actually done a full tour with those guys in a while. And then we have some things I can't really talk about now, but we have some other tours that are going to be happening later this year with some other bands. And whatever's going to kind of be the game plan, we're actually going to start putting together tomorrow. And but we're trying to always find things that people want to come and see, something that they wouldn't expect. Touring with REO is no big surprise. That's just a package that for some reason, I don't even think our two bands are anything alike, but for some reason promoters love that package and it seems to work. And the bottom line is money for us to be able to make this world go around. So apparently that's one that seems to be a win-win. But other than that, and that's an obvious, there are other things we try to do that are a little bit more interesting, let's say, than that people wouldn't expect, like the Grand Illusion and Pieces of Eight package all in one night. So we'll be trying to do some things like that and up the bar again.
All right, well, hey, I appreciate your time, and maybe next time we can see you doing the Ted Nugent role and maybe appearing on The Simpsons.
I like that. That's a great idea.
All right, thanks a lot, buddy. Take care.